The invasion of Western New Guinea, April-August 1944, was one of the final large-scale Allied operations in the Southwest Pacific, aimed at securing the westernmost portion of New Guinea and cutting off Japanese forces in the Dutch East Indies. As the war in the Pacific escalated, the United States and Australian forces sought to capture key strategic points in Western New Guinea, ensuring control over vital airfields and preparing for further offensives against the Philippines and Japan itself. General Douglas MacArthur, the supreme commander of Allied forces in the Southwest Pacific, led the campaign, which involved amphibious landings at Wakta, Biak, Nomfor, and Sansapur. These operations, though overshadowed by the larger island-hopping strategy across the Pacific, played a crucial role in isolating Japanese forces and paving the way for the eventual liberation of the Philippines. Strategic importance of Western New Guinea. Western New Guinea, then part of the Dutch East Indies, modern-day Indonesia's Papua province, held strategic significance for both Japan and the Allies. Airfields for future operations. The region had multiple airfields that could be used to support bombing raids on the Philippines and Borneo. Cutting off Japanese supply lines, by capturing Western New Guinea, the Allies would sever Japanese communication and supply routes to Burma, Sumatra, and Java. Weakening the Japanese perimeter. The invasion would neutralize General Hatazo Adachi's isolated 18th Army, preventing it from reinforcing Japanese positions elsewhere. Despite these strategic advantages, the Japanese still maintained roughly 50,000 troops in the region, prepared for a desperate defense. Phase 1. The landing at Wakta, May 1944. The first stage of the invasion began with an attack on Wakta Island, a small but strategically located island off the coast of Dutch New Guinea. Battle of Wakta, May 17 to 18, 1944. The U.S. 163rd Infantry Regiment, supported by naval and air bombardment, launched an amphibious assault on May 17, 1944. Japanese forces, numbering around 800 troops, fiercely resisted the landings but were overwhelmed within 48 hours. Wakta's airfield was quickly secured and became a forward base for further attacks. With Wakta under Allied control, American forces turned their attention to the larger and more heavily defended island of Biak. Phase 2. The Battle of Biak, May-June 1944. Biak, located further west along the New Guinea coast, housed one of Japan's most important airfields in the region. The Japanese Second Army, under General Shigeru Katagiri, had heavily fortified the island in anticipation of an Allied attack. Key events in the Battle of Biak. On May 27, 1944, the U.S. 41st Infantry Division landed on Biak's shores, expecting a swift victory. However, the Japanese had adopted a new defensive strategy, shifting from suicidal banzai charges to deep bunker warfare in coral caves. The battle dragged on for weeks, with American forces encountering relentless resistance in the Makmer airfield region. By June 20, 1944, after heavy artillery and tank assaults, Biak was finally secured, but at the cost of over 2,500 Allied casualties. Biak's capture allowed the Allies to establish a major air base from which bombers could launch attacks on the Philippines and the Japanese oil facilities in Borneo. Phase 3. Nomfor and the Drive West, July-August 1944. Following the success at Biak, MacArthur's forces continued westward, targeting Nomfor Island, which housed another key airfield. Battle of Nomfor, July 2 to 6, 1944. U.S. and Australian forces launched a surprise amphibious assault on Nomfor on July 2, 1944. The Japanese garrison of 3,000 troops resisted but was outmatched by superior firepower. Within 4 days the island was fully under Allied control, allowing for immediate construction of additional air bases. By August 1944, the final stage of the campaign saw Allied forces land at Sansapur, effectively securing the last remaining Japanese stronghold in Western New Guinea. Impact of the invasion of Western New Guinea. Heavy checkmark Allied control over New Guinea. The successful landings effectively ended Japanese influence in the region, isolating their remaining forces. Heavy checkmark strategic air bases for the Philippines campaign, with Biak, Nomfor, and Sansapur secured, Allied bombers could now strike the Philippines, Borneo, and even Taiwan. Heavy checkmark Japanese forces trapped. The Japanese 18th Army, now cut off, was unable to reinforce other theaters, hastening Japan's defeat in the Pacific. However, despite the victories, thousands of Japanese troops refused to surrender, continuing guerrilla warfare in the region until Japan's surrender in August 1945. Conclusion. The invasion of Western New Guinea marked the final phase of the New Guinea campaign and played a vital role in MacArthur's strategy to retake the Philippines. Though overshadowed by larger battles in the Central Pacific, these operations were instrumental in securing air superiority, cutting off Japanese reinforcements, and isolating enemy troops in the Dutch East Indies. With Western New Guinea secured, the next major step in the Pacific War would be the invasion of the Philippines, October 1944 to March 1945, where MacArthur would fulfill his promise to return.